Welcome to Module 5, Lesson 20. So, today's going to be a relatively short lesson because it's going to be a lot more of a visual, and this visual can only kind of be done one time because I'm going to be cutting some stuff up. So, today, our entire goal is I can show equivalent fractions have the same size, but not necessarily the same shape. And so I have here a little piece of paper to help represent this. So I can go ahead and ask and say, what fraction of this is red? And you can say, well, there's 1, 2, 3 pieces, and one of those three are red. So 1/3 of this is red. Well, 2/3 of it is blue. Now, if I had an identical one of these, they would be equivalent fractions. This one would say 1/3. This one would be 1/3 for red. Now, continuing off of that, the idea is that if I were to cut one of these up entirely, it would still kind of equal the same thing. So, let me go ahead and show you what I mean on that. So, just go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and trace this. Make sure I don't get caught up on my wire. Trace this up as much as I can to an accurate point that looks okay. Finish off those lines. And, whoop, and, whoop. Now, assuming I drew this perfectly, which probably didn't draw it perfect, but it's close enough. And I'm going to highlight this middle one to represent the red, and the two white ones are going to be the blues. So, now I have that shape, and these are identical. They're the same shape, the same amount are shaded red, so on and so forth. Now, what I can do is I can take some scissors, and I can cut this up. Because right now, these are equivalent fractions. They're both the same size, and they both have 1/3 shaded red. Now, the shape part, this is an interesting one, because they both have the exact same shape. They're both rectangular. But what if I go ahead and I cut this across like this? And I glued it together in a different way. Now, instead of it being a rectangle, it is this shape, which is more along the lines of like a parallelogram. Now, the question on this one is this still equivalent to this? Yes, it is. It is still equivalent. It is still the same size. It is still the same fraction. The only difference is that it is a slightly different shape. Now, once again, I can show you that by just bringing this down here and sticking it back to where it originally was. And now you have that exact same shape you had before. It's kind of like with area. You can turn things, you can rotate things, and you can put things together in a different way, and it will still be the same thing. Now, you're like, well, how far can I take this? Well, you can take this pretty far. I can go ahead and cut this up a couple more times. I'm going to go ahead and cut like a rounded section. It's not going to be perfectly round, but a rounded section out of here. And now I have that piece. I've got this long, skinny piece here that I will go ahead and place as such. And then I have this final piece right here, and I'll kind of glue that to the bottom right. Actually, I'll put it up right here, like that. Now, once again, question is this still equivalent to that? Is it still the same size? Oh, yes, it is. It's not the same shape. It looks different, but it covers the same amount of area, and the same amount of colorage is red as over here. Once again, I can show that by just rearranging these. I can take this, rotate it around. Oop, make sure I'm rotating it the right way. After cutting it up, I kind of forget which way is which. Oop. I'll grab another magnet. Drop this down. Put this right in there. And if I line this up just right, you'll see that it is back down to that original shape that we originally had, which is equivalent to the other one. It's basically just like rearranging the positions that you already have, like chairs in the classroom, or maybe like colored cupcakes in a tin. As long as you're not taking any of them out or putting more in, it doesn't matter how you organize it. If there's one row of red cupcakes and 2 rows of blue cupcakes, you can mix and mingle and rearrange those all you want. There's still 1/3 of it being red. So that is today's lesson. That is kind of, for the most part, what it is. And if I wanted to, I could keep cutting this up into a lot smaller pieces and make it look even weirder. But it will still be, as long as I have all those pieces, it will be equivalent to this. It will be the same size, but not the same shape. Now, if I were to take that off and remove it, and now that does not exist, now this is no longer equivalent to that because there's that big empty space where something should be. But as soon as I put that back in, it's equivalent. But I could also put it over here. And it is still equivalent. So, that is the lesson. It was short and sweet, but I hope you got the idea across. Now, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.